Hello friends! Today I will be creating resin coasters. This is my first try. I'm going to start off by showing you all of the ingredients that I purchased for this project. I got into resin with little charms I picked up at Hobby Lobby, and I had a lot of fun making them with my dad. So I thought for Mother's Day it would be cute if I made gifts not only for my mom but for my audience moms too. So these are all the supplies you'll need, and I got a bunch of dried flowers which I wanted a variety of so I could play around in the future with different color schemes. For this project, I tried to keep things pretty neutral. However, you can see lots of darker and brighter color palettes. So if you do like this project, I hope you'll check out my website, iCrybaby.com. and look out for future resin creations that I release in my shop, and maybe I can customize something for you. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to kind of play around with the flowers and come up with the perfect patterns for the coasters. This can be a really fun experience, and I really encourage anybody who does try to work with resin to take this step seriously and kind of just have fun, play around with it, get creative, and see what you can put down and place before you actually go in and start working with the product. Okay, now that you have everything placed out, it's time to work with the product and get these solidified. So you're going to want to start by mixing up parts of epoxy and parts of resin. In this cup, I have a lot of product, so this is not just for one mold. I plan to divide this into additional parts and pour them into several molds featured in today's video. Make sure you stir this thoroughly because it's really important for the overall product quality, and you also don't want it to harden to the cup. For video purposes, I have sped this portion up. When you are finally ready to pour your mixture, make sure you go very slow. In this first round here, I actually went a lot faster than I would prefer to. Once you have your mixture poured for the base, you'll want to take some heat to it. I tried really hard to get all of the bubbles out of the resin. I feel like it's important to try and get this part as precise as possible. However, this is my first time, so you know, I'm going with the flow. I'm trusting the process. Unfortunately, it is a little too bright in this video to see all of the bubbles, but it is so satisfying to watch them pretty much just disappear. Once you're satisfied, you'll want to quickly place those flowers down in the way you arranged them prior. When you're working with resin, you are on a time limit, and it's so easy to lose track of time. So placing those flowers ahead of time and having them ready nearby is going to make this process as smoothly as possible. As you can see here, I am doing a pretty good job at recreating my original design, and I'm pretty satisfied with how this turned out. Once they're all laid down, you'll want to quickly grab the second half of mixture, and this is going to coat them and pretty much seal all of those dried flowers into place. This is the first time I am doing this process. especially on a larger scale. So I definitely have my dad over on the side guiding me and ensuring that the product is covering each of the dried flowers. You'll want to make sure that you're kind of pouring slowly once again over these more than anything, because the dried pieces can shift. But if they do shift, that's okay too, because you can always go in and use a toothpick to kind of push them back into place, which I believe you'll see me do several times throughout this video. And once you feel like all of the flowers are perfect in place, it's time to seal the deal. You'll want to once again pull out that flame and kind of just go over the resin and get out the bubbles as much as possible. Alright, now it's time to go on to the next one. So we're going to just repeat that process. Make sure your molds are clean. Then pour that resin slowly and let it kind of just spread out and fill the entire space. Once again, we're bringing in that heat and even some extra light to make sure that we're getting all the bubbles out. We are aiming to have the resin as clear and perfect as possible. So we got all the heat coming in on top of that before we lay down our floral arrangement. And another coaster is complete. At this point, for a first try, I'm like, this is amazing. It couldn't get better than this. Everything looks so dainty and beautiful, and it came out exactly as I had planned it. What could go wrong? So as I come in to pour my third batch, I notice the product is, well, not as consistent. There is the largest gelatin-like clump, and that's when I think both my dad and I came to the realization that we were having way too much fun and we lost such track of time. You can see it was just way too late. You're typically only supposed to work with resin for 30 minutes, and here's why. So take this as a precautionary tale and work swiftly and diligently, friends. So we've learned some lessons, it's a new day, this is obviously turning out great. We're down to our final coaster for this video. And if you're still here watching, thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun, and honestly, I have really enjoyed every single part, learning experience, and I feel like this is just the beginning. So enjoy the final coaster preparation, and yeah, let me know if you're interested in playing around with resin one day. And as I wrap up the last coaster with you all, I wanted to bring it in a little bit and show you how bubbly these things can get. This one in particular was a lot bubblier than the other three, but as you see the heat go around, you'll notice the dramatic difference. And honestly, I think it's so cool. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching my first try at resin coasters. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite and what colors or styles or shapes you'd want to see next. And while I still have you here, don't forget to check out my website, 𝐬𝐤𝐚𝐥.com, for more.